Hi crafty friends, and welcome to another Pixie Dust Designs video. Natasha here, sharing a fun Halloween card using the Franky Mug die set. I will be using the Bride of Franky mini cupcake to create this fun little card. So let's get started. So as I stated before, we will be using the Bride of Franky mini cupcake for this card. Here is one that I went ahead and created, but we will be creating two together today. I have a light blue base as well as a light purple base. I then have the layered hair, which will be orange, and the other will be black. You will also need the hair accents die cut out, as well as the face and the side little pieces. So first I am taking a blue tri-blend marker here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading around the face of my cupcake. For my light purple cupcake, I'm using the hydrangea blend marker to add a bit of shading. I do later go in with some milled lavender Distress Oxide ink just to blend out the harshness of the marker. It was a bit darker than I anticipated. I would also like to note that I will be working on both of these cupcakes at the same time, just to save on me having to put up supplies and then take them back out as we go from cupcake to cupcake. Now that each face is shaded, I decided to go ahead and add the eyes and mouth in. I did die cut these out of just some black cardstock, and I'm adhering them with some wet glue. I do go back and add a bit more shading to the face before I add on the little bolts that go into the neck. These pieces I did die cut out of white for the blue cupcake and some glitter orange cardstock for the purple cupcake. The white and the orange glitter will also be the accents for the hair. So the squiggly lines that generally go into the Bride of Franky's hair will be those colors to coordinate with the bolts that are in the neck of these little cupcakes. Once those are adhered, I go in with my gray tri-blend marker to add some shading to those white pieces on the blue cupcake. And there we have it. Now let's move on to hair. So for the orange hair, like I said, I will be adhering the orange glitter highlights. And it was a bit confusing for me because when I die cut them out, I just put them in my little bowl of die cuts and I did not pay attention to what direction these went in. So I will say that if you're going to make these, kind of keep track of where each piece goes so you don't have to play the guessing game like I did. But once you have one piece down, you can kind of match it up. There are those embossed lines in the hair that help guide you, but just looking at the pieces and trying to figure out where they go can be a bit tricky. I will also mention that this portion of the video is sped up, so no, I did not do this at the rate that it looks like I did it. It did take me some time, so just be sure that you are paying attention to what you are doing. So again, for the black hair, I'm adding on the white pieces. And once those are adhered, I'm going to go back in with my tri-blend markers and add some shading to the orange hair. And I'm going to leave the black hair alone for now. I did also go back in and add more depth to the faces of these little cupcakes. Once I'd adhered the hair, I could kind of see that there was not enough definition and contrast of color. So that's what you see me doing here. Once I have completed adding more depth to the faces, I grab my jelly roll and I add some highlights and accents to the faces and the eyes. I go in and I add the little stitch marks that you usually see on Franky and you should see on the Bride of Frankenstein. I also add some highlights and accents to the hair and even add like a white streak between the accents that I added. The orange here you see, I add a white streak in the middle of that. And then when I adhered the white pieces to the black hair, I kind of made sure there was a bit of a gap so you can kind of see the black between there, so it looks more like there's like stripes in the hair. So yeah, that's what I am doing here. Here are our completed Bride of Franky mini cupcakes. I think they are so adorable. But here are all three together. And for the pink and green version of this, I used green cardstock. I also used pink cardstock as well as some pink foil cardstock for the accents on the hair. Moving on to the background of the card, I used some pattern cardstock that I already had in my stash and I'd already added some ink to it, but after seeing all of the completed cupcakes, I decided that wasn't enough. So I went in with some carved pumpkin spray and I just added some drips across my background. I also went ahead and stamped a sentiment onto the card panel, and the final step is to simply add in our mini cupcakes. So I wanted them to have some dimension, so of course I am using some foam tape here and just adding that to the back of each cupcake. I will have it where the center cupcake is popped up just a bit more than the other two. But other than that, you just add foam tape and there you have it. Here is what the card panel is looking like before I went in and cut it down. I did cut it to 4 by 5¼ and matted that onto some white cardstock. But there we have it, guys. Here is my completed card. What do you think? Let me know down below. Also, be sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day.